Okay, that's a wrap for Eagles mandatory minicamp. And on the last day, rookie wide receiver Johnny Wilson shows up and mosses Isaiah Rodgers for a touchdown. That's not all. Jalen Hurts reveals something insane about Kellen Moore's new offense. Although the defensive unit won the day again, you don't got to be worried about the offense. However, Nick Sirianni and the whole offensive staff had to run laps.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
But first, breaking news right before I hit upload, the Eagles just signed their first round pick, Quinyon Mitchell. It's official. Let's go! What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Real quick, shout out to Notification Gang. I see it's growing. Shout out to the OGs and the new ones. Now, if you like the content, help your boy out by hitting that like, subscribe to the channel, and again, that bell lets you know when I drop these videos. So day 3 of mandatory minicamp is in the books, and yes, it's the last day, so we won't see the Eagles back at the NovaCare complex on the field until the end of July. However, it sounds like Jalen Hurts will be getting together with the skill players this offseason outside of the NovaCare to get in extra work before the start of training camp. That's just who Jalen is. But there might be another reason why he wants to get more work in.
I think the goal coming in was to, learn Kellen's offense and master it. And I think that's been a process. And I think by the end of it, I want it to be mine.
Jalen Hurts said about 95% of the offense being installed is new. He uses words like structured and organized to describe what he likes about the offense so far under Kellen Moore. You didn't mishear me. He said 95%. I believe the next beat writer, Ruben Frank, then said something on the lines of, that's all big wholesale difference. Are you worried?
Well, no, I'm not. But I think bigger picture football, a lot of things are similar, right? Like everybody, you can look on the internet and see, okay, well, these guys are running this play or whatever. But, you never know what that player is being coached to do. You never know how they're being taught to do it, how to execute it. And so that's exactly what makes it different. The X's and O's, the lines on the paper, they may very well be what they're supposed to be. But how I coach and how I detail these routes, how I coach the quarterback, what I want his timing to be, where I want him looking, where I want his eyes. Are receivers reading routes? Are they not reading routes? Are there alerts on this? Are there checks and adjustments built in on this? Or is it something that, someone has to do, the quarterback has to do? That's what makes a system a system.
Honestly, it was a perfect answer. And he talked about he already has experience with learning new systems. That's all he's been doing from high school to college to the NFL. He did have Shane Steichen for 2 years, and on year 2, you saw what happened. But I do think he'll be able to grasp it. He's going to put in the extra work with their team, and you can expect the offense to be ready for the season. As for the offense today, it wasn't good according to some beat writers. Eagles' first-team defense continues to win against the first-team offense. Just did a 7-on-7 in the red zone, 10 yards out. First play is a short completion, no touchdown. Second play is a touchdown, but Hurts held it a long time, and the play was basically dead. Saying the play was dead is an opinion, so we don't really know. I'm counting that as a touchdown. Third play, Hurts held it a long time because nobody was open. Not good for 7-on-7 on the 10-yard line, but good for the defense. Of course, that was from ESP, who's always more critical. There were no other beat writers talking about the first-team offense, though. However, a lot of people talk about the rest of practice. Brandon Lee Gowton tweeted that Kenny Pickett with a 30-yard touchdown pass down the left side to Johnny Wilson. Isaiah Rodgers had good coverage on the double move, but the ball went just over his outstretched arms to the bigger target. Uh-oh, can you say Johnny Wilson already mossing people? Nothing against Isaiah Rodgers. That's a tall ask. Isaiah Rodgers being a smaller guy. Kenny Pickett, not dumb. He just throws it up, and Johnny Wilson does the rest. I love hearing that for Johnny Wilson. He's pretty far down on how much PT he's going to get with all these wide receivers. At the end of the day, if you can really develop a 6'6" guy who has footwork like him, he could become a legit stud. Martin Frank tweets, Pickett comes back with a nice back shoulder touchdown to Joseph Nagata with Eli Ricks in coverage. It was reported that Tanner McKee just had a really good series on 7-on-7 in the red zone, went 2 of 3 with 2 touchdowns, almost had 3 when he hit Anaya Smith with a really nice pass in the back of the end zone, but Smith was ruled out of bounds by the refs. Very close. Shout out to Tanner McKee and shout out to Anaya Smith being able to participate. I think he did participate in day 2. Shout out to y'all in the comment section for letting me know. But day 3, he's back participating. I can't wait to see what he got in store in training camp when he's really healthy. Not sure who was the quarterback on this play, but Brandon Lee Gowton said Cooper DeJean punches the ball out of Shaquan Davis's hands to force a PBU. That was the guy who ran that sassy route. DeJean working on the unproven wide receiver, not allowing him to get a catch. It was a short practice to end a 3-day mandatory mini camp / OTAs. I do want to include that James Bradberry was absent from practice due to an injury. So all 3 days, he really didn't practice because on day 1, they were about to move him to safety and he got hurt. I've seen some of y'all in the comment section saying he was faking his injury. I'm not going to go that far. As for the offense losing to the defense, it was reported that Nick Sirianni and the offensive coaches ran gassers while the players watched and laughed. So not the offensive players running, just the offensive coaches running, while offense players and defense players point and laugh.
They're all gonna laugh at you! They're all gonna laugh at you!
As for the rookies and Mekhi Becton, they got to speak at the podium before practice, and they said some interesting things. Martin Frank tweeted, Cooper DeJean said, I don't mind having a lot on my plate by moving around at a lot of positions at defensive back. He said the Eagles played him a lot, both outside and inside. Whenever he did get first-team reps, it was always in the inside, but every time he got second-team reps, he was always on the outside. Again, shout out to Vic Fangio and Christian Parker looking at this kid and understanding that he can be a chess piece. He can handle it, even though he's a rookie, giving him the opportunity to play more positions. When he was drafted, there was talks he could be even used at safety. He was yet to do that. We'll see what happens in training camp. He also talked about CJGJ letting him have it when he dropped the one-hand almost INT. At the end of the day, it's all love. But CJGJ later tweeted this, I ain't come back to be like. I came back to set the tone and win. Hey, I love it. Cooper DeJean is Philly strong. He can handle the tough love. And I'm glad CJGJ is back setting the tone early. Quinyon Mitchell was up next to the podium, and you know the Philly media was dying to talk about the A.J. Brown. That route was trash talk. Ed Kratt tweeted that Quinyon Mitchell said the route he said to A.J. that was trash was actually a good route. It was just the first rep going against A.J. Brown, and he wanted to talk some trash, which I absolutely love trash talking as long as it stays in the game. DB is the toughest position on defense. You got to have a short-term memory, and you got to have some attitude. You got to have some dog in you, and so I'm all with it. But like AJ said, now you got to walk the walk, but I believe and Quinyon Mitchell. According to Brandon Lee Gowton, Quinyon Mitchell also said that Big Play Slay was helping him get better at press coverage by working on footwork together after a practice. Once again, I tell you guys this. Y'all want to take Slay C off his chest? He is a good leader. He is a good player. And we're only going to have him for a little bit more. So enjoy it. At the end of the day, Quinyon Mitchell is going to learn a lot from him. He looks up to him. But Quinyon also said that Avonte Maddox has been low-key helping him too. And through these 3 days of mandatory minicamp, we've seen Quinyon Mitchell get some slot snaps in dime packages with 4 corners. And once or twice, they put him in the actual slot at nickel on first-team defense. So I could see where Avonte Maddox could come in to offer some help. Now, before we get to what Mekhi Becton had to say, I want to go over a tweet from Isaiah Rodgers. Yes, Isaiah Rodgers had an amazing OTA/minicamp, but I agree with what he's saying here. Nobody cares what you do at OTA/minicamp. The time is for learning and building. What really matters is what you do after that very first coin toss all the way until the confetti drops. Championship, see y'all in July. That right there is why he's going to be a huge part of the team. Perfect mindset, dog mentality. However, I absolutely agree with him, but us diehard Eagle fans can't wait the whole offseason. We got to talk about OTAs, minicamp, training camp, preseason, but we know all that is to learn and build. What truly matters is what happens when the real season starts. As for what Mekhi Becton said at the podium, he said the decision to come to the Eagles came down to the chance to learn from Jeff Stoutland and the offensive linemen. He spoke highly of Lane Johnson at right tackle, Jordan Mailata at left tackle, and he said earlier in his career he would have never agreed to play guard. However, playing on the same line as some of these greats, Lane, Mailata, and Dickerson, made him really want to play at any means necessary. He also said he would love to be an Eagle further than a year. Again, I think he could come in handy if an injury happens. Jeff Stoutland will have him ready to play almost every position on the line, minus center. Again, hopefully no injuries, knock on fake wood. Actually, let's knock on some real wood. That being said, another low-key beautiful signing for one Howie Roseman. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Tall Podcast. Leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and once again, shout out to all notification gang. Y'all the first ones to get that bing when I upload a video. We trying to grow it, so don't be afraid to hit it. Once again, drop your thoughts, muscle up, and we are out.